If you're starting a business and feel anxious, I want you to hear this first, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not cut out for this, and it doesn't mean you need to stop. A lot of people assume anxiety is just a sign to quit. But what if anxiety isn't the problem? What if it's the information? Today, I want to talk to you about anxiety and how it can actually help you when you're starting a business, if you know how to listen to it instead of letting it run the show. I want to say this loud because it matters. I experience anxiety too, even now, even as a therapist, even as someone who has built a business. And one of the biggest shifts for me wasn't learning how to get rid of anxiety, it was learning how to relate to it differently. Because when I treat anxiety like an enemy, it only gets louder. So anxiety doesn't just live in our thoughts, it lives in our bodies. It can show up as a racing heart, tightness in your chest or in your stomach, shallow breathing, muscle tension, a sense of urgency or panic, the feeling that something bad is about to happen. When these sensations show up and we don't understand them, our body often goes straight into fight or flight or freeze. At that point, anxiety feels really overwhelming, not because it's dangerous, but because it feels unmanageable. Here's the reframe that changed everything for me. Anxiety is not a threat. It's a communication system. Our emotions exist to tell us something about our needs. Think about when you're hungry. When you're hungry, your body sends you signals, right? You might get hunger pains, you might feel lightheaded, or you might feel irritable, right? And you understand that when you feel those sensations that you need to eat and you know how to respond. Anxiety works in the same way. The problem is that many of us were never taught to understand what anxiety is asking for us to be able to know how we can respond and meet that need. When anxiety shows up for me, especially in my business, I slow down and I ask myself two questions. The first question is, what am I afraid would actually happen? I let the answer come without judgment. Then I ask myself, if that did happen, how could I still be okay? The second question is really important because instead of reinforcing the belief that I'm not safe, I'm reminding my nervous system that I can cope, I can adjust, and I can take care of me. The reassurance, not avoidance, is what actually calms anxiety. Another thing anxiety has taught me is how to slow down. When I'm excited about my work, I can move so fast, sometimes too fast. I want to get it all done right away. Anxiety helps me pause, be more thoughtful, and more intentional. Instead of rushing ahead out of excitement or pressure, anxiety helps me to check in. Is this aligned? Is it sustainable? Am I building something that actually supports my life? That has made my business healthier, not smaller. Anxiety is also really informative for when I'm out of balance. If my anxiety is higher than usual, it's often a sign that I'm overworking, I'm neglecting rest or relationships, or I'm pushing past my limits instead of respecting them. When I listen to anxiety instead of fighting it, I can course correct before I burn out. And this part is important too. Anxiety helps me see what matters. It shows me where I care deeply, where I want to do well, and where I want to be thoughtful and prepared. When anxiety is regulated, it doesn't hurt performance, it enhances it. It helps me show up more present, more intentional, and more connected to my values. Once I understand what anxiety is trying to help communicate to me, something else happens naturally. I become kinder to myself. Instead of shutting down or criticizing myself for feeling anxious, I can respond with compassion. I can say, this makes sense, I care about this, I'm allowed to move at a pace that feels safe. And that compassion, more than anything, helps keep anxiety from taking over. Anxiety doesn't mean stop, it means listen. When you learn how to work with your anxiety instead of against it, you build self-trust. And self-trust allows us to keep going, even when things feel uncertain. You don't need to eliminate anxiety to start and grow a business. You need to learn how to walk with it. If this resonated with you, you are not alone. And if anxiety is keeping you stuck, cycling between excitement and fear, support can help you untangle what's happening underneath. Whether that's therapy, focus work, or intentional reflection, you don't have to navigate this on your own. If this video was helpful, you can like, subscribe, or share it with someone who is trying to build something meaningful and feels anxious along the way. And remember, you can build a business and feel safe doing it.